Okay, so got myself a new vehicle a few days ago. It was time for a change for various reasons. Decided to go for the Honda CR-V. It's a bit more practical for what I need it for, rather than the Ford I used to have. So this was the obvious choice, and obviously one of the first things I needed to do was to install some radio gear. So first things first, I'll show you the outside. Done quite a simple basic job really with the antenna. It seems to work really well though, so I'll give you a bit of a close-up and I'll show you what we've done here. It's just stuff that's been taken off the original car. And as you can see, it's the old amateur radio mount there. It's about 6 foot whip. It's tuned in for 10-11 meter band, so it gives me what I need to do. It's mounted just on the top of the door there, as you can see the back door. It's just mounted on there. It's the same mount as I used on the door for the Focus. So that works really well. I've had some fantastic reports. I've done a lot of mobile sideband work on upper sideband. Had some great results. So really pleased with that so far. The next complication was where to fit it inside. So I'll show you what I've done for that. Right, so as good as this camera is, unfortunately, on record, it's not autofocus. So it's a bit naff from that point of view. But take a look anyway. This is what I've done to install it. The great thing about this vehicle is that inside, if I can just bring the camera around, you've got quite a lot of space. You've got a useful little coffee table there. That's my amp. Quite a lot of space down here. Space underneath the dash. It does quite well. But I couldn't find anywhere that was suitable for the radio to be fitted. I didn't like it down here by my feet when I originally installed it. It was down here on its side. The problem with that is, whilst you're driving, you don't have very good vision of the controls and of the radio itself. So ultimately, I wanted to put it pretty much where it is there. The issue I had was that in its place was one of the larger sized car stereos. It wasn't a brilliant car stereo. It was a factory fitted Honda. It had built-in sat-nav, a nice big LCD screen, but that didn't really work. And I don't use a sat-nav in the car anyway. I use the sat-nav on my phone or a dedicated sat-nav for it. So first thing I did was to rip that out. With the nice big gap left, there was just enough room using the existing brackets inside to insert the Sony car stereo on the top and the President Grant underneath. The only thing I've had to do, the only mod I've had to do is to take off the casing to the President Grant because with the casing on it was just a little bit too big. So top and the bottom came off, including the speaker, which is placed at the bottom. That got discarded, and I've wired it all in using the external speaker that's down there by my foot, which is on its side for some reason. The screws come a bit loose, and it works really well. I'm picking up a nice strong signal. That's QRM, that's interference from next door neighbour's solar panels on the roof. So this radio works brilliantly everywhere apart from my house because of my neighbours. But I managed to get the microphone clipped onto the side, nice and convenient, and it works well. Now, like many, I've got the mod done to this radio, which means if I want to change it to UK FM and the various different bands, there's a little switch at the back of the radio you can put on. What I've done, I've extended that switch and I've placed it just here. So at the moment we're on UK FM there. If I turn it off, flick this switch up, turn this radio on, and there we go. I've now got the choice of all the various different bands, if you can see that. As I can't focus or pull you in any closer, I'm afraid, because it doesn't autofocus once it's recording. But there you go, so the simple mods worked out really well for this. Obviously the cable running from the back of the stereo through the dash to where I put the switch. Antenna cable follows underneath the dash as well to the back of the car. The only last thing I need to do is the power supply at the moment comes off the 12 volt outlet here. Now the reason I've done this is because I've taken the power supply for the CB off the car stereo on the permanent live. So that's permanently live, that is. But without the key in the ignition, my amplifier that's under here won't work. So parked up with no keys in, which is very, very rare. You've only got the sort of 4 watts FM, AM, FM. Was it 12 watts sideband? Obviously, I'm normally using this with keys in at the moment. So as soon as I power up the ignition, that works brilliantly. I do need to get a permanent supply fed from the car battery to the inside of the car, but that's a bit more difficult. I've been trying for the last couple of days, but there's issues with the firewalls, and it's a tough old vehicle, this, and trying to find somewhere it'll fit through is not that easy. So there you go, I wanted to show you that. Hopefully I will get the power supply in soon for the boot, because I want to supply for the boot as well for some other stuff. The next project is got to install my radio, amateur radio. The place I thought this would go is to be mounted up here. Can you see that? If I mount that at the top, it's out of the way. It's not going to be bothering any other controls, and it pretty much works quite well up there. I've got on order the extension mic cable to bring me mic lead, extension lead across and down under the dash, and probably bring it out somewhere down here. And then the actual control, the radio itself, is going to be stored, if I can get to it, in this little tray under here, out of the way. So that's the plan. That's the plan. The only other thing is, into the boot, the only other thing is to where to put the antenna. Like I say, this is the, how do I focus? There we go. This is the antenna for the 10-11 metre band. Did think about putting it up on this side, but then I didn't really want to have coax cable running along there. I did think about maybe putting onto the boot, onto the bonnet, the roof of the car. Might drill a hole and have a little quarter wave antenna halfway down. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Focus. There we go. Get those radios in. We've just been camping, and those radios are still in there from where we went away. Need to bring those in. But now you get a good sized boot in these cars. I like them. The one thing I want to do is get a permanent live supply into the boot for things like portable fridges and stuff like that. That'll be very useful. So that's why ultimately I want power coming out. So there you go. Anyway, hope that's been of some interest. It looks quite small there. Doesn't take any space up. I like that. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.